For decades, there's been a particular brand of critic, usually cloaked in tweed and clutching an overused copy of Citizen Kane, who insists that Star Wars isn't really good, that it's all puffed up nostalgia, that it's a glorified kids franchise with laser swords and talking puppets.
Reginald! I disagree!
According to these gatekeepers of serious adult cinema, to genuinely enjoy Star Wars is to expose yourself as unserious, unsophisticated, and perhaps worst of all, sentimental. Yet, every few years, a new generation falls in love with a galaxy far, far away. And right now, it's happening again. This is Mark's On Media, and today I'm talking about the people who still try to pretend like they're too cool for Star Wars. Spoiler, they're not. Now, let's get into it.
Mark's On Media.
With the theater re-release of Star Wars Episode 3 Revenge of the Sith, people are flocking back to the cinemas not only to relive the spectacle on the big screen, but to share it with their children, friends, or simply the child within themselves. And predictably, the stuffy critics are crawling back out to remind everyone that this movie, and by extension, Star Wars itself, is beneath them.
Pathetic.
These are the same people who denigrate fantasy and most fiction as a whole, pretending that only certain forms of storytelling are appropriate to enjoy when you're over the age of 18. Either that, or you just read biographies and study up on history, things like The Lord of the Rings, written by a war veteran college professor in his 40s, and the subject of today's video, Star Wars, written and directed by a married father in his 30s, are intellectual poison, not suited for the likes of a civilized society. And even if you lower yourself to watch and, by chance, enjoy these books and films, you are never, ever to claim that you are a diehard fan and actually learn more about them. That's for nerds. Take, for instance, Matt Walsh of the Daily Wire, who recently went on an X tirade after seeing Revenge of the Sith with his kids. I am a fan of Walsh in some respects, but when he starts talking about media, he's worse than useless. He's basically the conservative, real-life Ron Swanson from Parks and Rec.
You're literally listening to turkey calls.
Is this not rap?
He called the movie an insult to the art of cinema, deriding the dialogue, choreography, acting, and story as truly a terrible pile of shit.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
His favorite part, sarcastically, is when Anakin gets maimed because of the infamous high ground logic, never mind that Walsh's kids, by his own admission, love the movie. And maybe that's the point. Walsh's hyperbolic disgust is the same kind of ranting we've heard for years. Star Wars is juvenile, it's clunky, it's unserious. But the criticisms miss what Star Wars is, and always has been, about. Well, until Disney took over at least. Let's rewind. Episode 4, A New Hope, isn't just the start of a sci-fi franchise. It's a turning point in cinematic history. It introduced the audience to space battles, laser swords, and strange aliens. But more importantly, to archetypes they could feel. A farm boy longing for purpose, a princess that could lead as well as anyone, a rogue with a heart, and perhaps the most iconic villain of all time, Darth Vader. It inspired a new generation of filmmakers and redefined genre storytelling. It also broke barriers with special effects. Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back, is not only darker and more complex, it's a masterpiece. It dared to deepen the mythology, it gave us one of the most iconic twists in film history.
No, I am your father.
It ended on a note of failure and vulnerability, rare for blockbuster cinema, and it introduced Boba Fett, who somehow became a fan favorite with just a few lines of dialogue. Episode 6, Return of the Jedi, may not reach the cinematic heights of its predecessor, but it brought the saga to a satisfying, emotional conclusion. From Jabba's palace to the redemption of Darth Vader and the fall of the Emperor, it delivered on the emotional stakes. And yes, the Ewoks helped save the galaxy. Deal with it.
Deal with it!
The prequels were a different beast. Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, is pretty hard to defend. It's bloated, overly reliant on CGI, and makes baffling choices, like sidelining incredible characters like Qui-Gon Jinn and Darth Maul in favor of characters that no one asked for. Looking at you, Jar Jar Binks. But it did lay groundwork. Episode 2, Attack of the Clones, gets way more hate than it deserves. It's not perfect, but it advances the galactic chessboard, delivers on action, and gives us the first real sense of Anakin's struggle. Then we get to Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. Is it Shakespeare? No, but it never needed to be. Yes, the dialogue is cheesy, yes, some of the acting is stiff, but the film has heart. It has tragedy. It has ambition. It tells the story of a man's fall, of a republic's death, and the rise of an empire. It shows how the bright-eyed child becomes the dark-souled machine. It contains some of the most visually stunning and emotionally impactful scenes in the entire saga. The score alone, Battle of the Heroes, Anakin's betrayal, Padme's reminiscence, is worth the price of admission. And despite all the snarky commentary, it's an incredibly watchable film, as proven by the packed screenings during this re-release.
I love it!
And maybe that's what bothers the critics the most. People love the films, genuinely, passionately, joyfully love them. The sequels are more divisive. Episode 7, The Force Awakens, was derivative but promising. Episode 8, The Last Jedi, took a hammer to that promise. And Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker, was frantically attempting to glue the pieces back together. But even these flawed entries have their defenders, and their place in the tapestry. Here's the thing, Star Wars is a modern myth. It's a saga told across generations, in theaters and living rooms, with action figures and lunchboxes. It isn't for cynics. It's for dreamers, for kids and the kids they grow into. It's about good and evil, hope and despair, destiny and choice. It doesn't need perfect dialogue to matter. It doesn't have to follow art house conventions to be meaningful. While Hamlet and Othello rely on monologues perfectly delivered with gusto and long, winding mental journeys through fairly minimal action and no special effects, Star Wars is a combo of modern and classic storytelling. Sure, you have the bright, shiny objects, figuratively and literally, all over the screen, but you also have characters with deep internal struggles dating back to even past generations. It's also a story that spans the entire galaxy instead of being tied down to a single city or country. To enjoy Star Wars, even Revenge of the Sith isn't childish. It's human. So no, you're not too cool for Star Wars. You're just afraid to feel something real in a world that tells you emotions make you weak.
God, I go to church every goddamn Sunday. You gonna bring the demons out of me?
Or, you just don't like it. But that doesn't make you right and doesn't make the fans wrong. Let the critics scoff. You go enjoy the lightsabers, the droids, the Force, the love, the loss, and the redemption. You go remember why this story still matters. Because, in the end, the Force will be with you, always.
The Force?
May the Force be with you.
May the Force be with you.
May the Force be with you.
Comment with your thoughts on all of this. Are you with me on these arguments? Why or why not? What's your favorite Star Wars film? And have you seen the re-release of Revenge of the Sith in theaters? Let me know down in the comments section. Also, please share this video around everyone you know, and don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and click the little bell to be notified every time we post brand new content. This has been Marks on Media, and may the 4th be with you.